Hello to my Taurus. Taurus. Let's get into your video. All right, Taurus, we're about to close out this cycle on the 28th of January. And then on the 30th, Uranus goes station direct in your sign. That's right. 11th house. 11th house. All right. So, okay, Taurus. At your highest frequency, you all are very generous. Very, very, very generous. You're logical, you're determined, you're understanding, you're patient, devoted, all the things you are. I'm safe and protected. All right, let's do it. Let's see what's in your cards, okay? Let's see what's in your cards. That's how we're starting out. So you're going to speak that into existence. That is what you're speaking over yourselves as we're entering into this new phase of life. That's right. Speak that over yourselves, right? Set the tone for this new phase, this new cycle that we're entering into. The new cycle begins on the 29th. And then Uranus enters. Uranus goes station direct in Taurus. Uranus is the full card, right? So you're leaving behind a lot of distractions. Leaving behind a lot of distraction. Uranus has been retrograde for the last 4 months. We had a full moon in Cancer on the 13th of January. And it was a full moon in, Cancer, right? All right. New beginning for you. New beginning. New beginning. You're safe and protected. Safe and protected. So you're entering into light high priestess energy. This is you, meaning you got clear. You got some clarity. You got some clarity here. Yep, you got some clarity here. Yep, you got some clarity. Meaning that you've manifested some money. You've manifested some money. Yep, you've manifested some money. If you've manifested some money. Meaning what you're learning how to do is you've gotten some downloads. You're learning how to speak what you want into existence. You're learning how to, so high priestess energy is your intuition, right? And you learn it, Lord have mercy. Learn it. Okay. So high priestess energy is your intuition, right? So you're high priest. This is high priestess, right? So you've learned how to be a lot more detailed. So you could either be tapped into learning how to be in receiving mode of learning how to be more meticulous in processing, like really processing how to manifest what you want, right? Where it's just not all over the place. And this is again your water. You're manifesting your emotions, like really learning how to process your emotions, right? Like pouring into yourselves. Like I always talk about knowing what your moon sign is. So instead of you getting overwhelmed, learning how to process your emotions and speaking into existence what you want. So receiving an emotion about what you want, and then processing, your emotions, like speaking into existence what you want. Clearly speaking into existence what you want, right? So both of these are really about communicating, right? This is Mercury. The Magician card is about Mercury. So instead of you being confused about what you want, speaking it into existence, like learning how to, like moving forward, learning how to communicate what you want. Learning how to communicate what you want in a clear and concise way, right? About what you want, right? Learning how to communicate what you want from people. Like I said, you're safe and protected, but being able to communicate what you want from people, right? Yeah. Yeah. And being very clear. Like if you want to be a part of a team, just saying it. Just saying, I want to be a part of a team. I want to be a part of a team. I want to be a team player. I want something. Hold on. Let me see. You know, being able to stay focused. You know, being able to stay focused. Right? If you want something from somebody, I want something. Just saying what you want, right? And just again, knowing that you are safe and you're protected. If you want something from somebody, saying what you want, being very close, being clear about what you're saying, what you want. Because either people are going to say yes or they're going to say no. Either they have it or they don't have it. It's just clear. Yeah, instead of being chained to fear. That's the devil. Being chained to fear. Being chained to fear. Being chained to confusion. Right? So, I feel like somebody has, excuse me. I feel like somebody's going to be right at home with learning how to communicate now. I feel like somebody's going to be right at home with learning how to communicate, being able to stay focused now. Somebody's going to feel right at home with learning how to communicate, you know, their emotions without being fearful of communicating how they feel, right? Without feeling judged. Or without being obsessed with thinking that people are judging them with how they feel, you know, around whatever it is you feel judged about. Yeah. Sex, money, how you make your money, whatever. I feel like somebody wants to open up. I feel like somebody wants to start talking to somebody about something. Yeah, I think somebody wants to, I feel like somebody wants to talk to somebody about something. Because this is, I feel like somebody wants to initiate a conversation. Somebody wants to, because this speaks to a cardinal sign. This right here. I feel like somebody wants to initiate a conversation. Somebody wants to, because this is the Magician card, Mercury. And so somebody wants to clear something up. Somebody wants to clear something up without feeling judged, right? Somebody may have felt like they were left out in the cold, or maybe felt like somebody, I don't know who may have felt like they were left out in the cold. But I feel like somebody might want to clear something out, because I'm seeing this water, or, you know, something. I feel like somebody may want to clear something up. So Ace, so 4, 5. Yeah, somebody may want to clear something up about 2 situations. Yeah, somebody may want to clear something up as far as 2 situations are concerned. And about somebody being a part of a team, somebody may want to clear something up. Maybe somebody felt like they were being judged, or like chained to the devil or something. Somebody may feel like they were being judged. But somebody's not going back to something. Yeah, somebody's definitely not going back to something. But I feel like somebody may want to have a conversation about something. Yeah, somebody wants to have a conversation about something. I don't know what somebody wants to have a conversation about, but something around money. Something about money, something about somebody feel like they're running away from something, or I don't even know where to begin with this reading. But you are safe and you are protected. So whoever you're having a conversation with and whatever it's about, I'm sure it'll be well received. Here we have the Chariot card here. Yeah, so looks like you could be at a crossroad. Looks like you could be at a crossroad about something. Yeah, looks like you have at a crossroad. We did have a full moon. We did have a full moon in Cancer. What's interesting about a full moon in Cancer, this is the first full moon that we had this year. It presented a great opportunity for everybody to create. Like this is this first full moon that we had in 2025, and it was a wolf moon. Water gives us an opportunity to create, right? So you had a group of, well, you had some people who used that opportunity because Cancer is already ruled by the moon. It was like a double dose of creativity. So some people use that time to create goods, products, and services that could have made more money, create opportunities for jobs, whatever you created. But then some people created opportunities to create drama, like whatever was created. Some people looked for jobs. Some people created room for new relationships, friendships, whatever. Um, Something that they can look back on and be proud of. And some people created stuff that they look back and go, gosh, I wasted my time, right? But nevertheless, some things were highlighted. Some things were uncovered. Secrets were uncovered about other people, but secrets were uncovered about people themselves. Like people found out what their moon sign was. They found out what like their their rising Venus, their other placements in their birth chart. Like this is a time of discovery for a lot of people about themselves, and some people just use it to find out gossip about other people. Whatever you found out, somebody is deciding they're not going back to something. See this person right here? Somebody said they're not going back to something. Person got their arm in a sling. Somebody said, and I hope that's not the case for you, but somebody said they're not going back to something. Somebody said they're not going back to something. You don't want to be a part of some kind of team or something. It could be a job that it was just like hard work to do, some kind of job, but something you either looks like you're running away from or you're staying focused, whatever it is, but somebody says they're not going back to something. But I feel like somebody's going to feel like you got a message where you feel like you just have this whole new lease on life, really. Instead of just having a new lease, somebody feel like they have a whole new lease on life, right? There's a difference between feeling like you have a whole new lease, like a new apartment or a new lease on a car or a new lease on a building that you're renting or whatever, and having a whole new lease on life, right? But Three of Pentacles speaks to teamwork. And so somebody could feel like they were a part of a team but didn't have the authority on a team, right? Where you felt like you were left out in the cold, like you thought you were a part of a team, but you felt like you were left out, right? You were working all these hours a day, but you had no say so, but you were chained to working 8 hours a day where you thought you were part of something, but you really weren't, right? And so it could look like you're running away from something, but really you aren't. And, like I said, you left, you said you're not going back to that, not going back to something. You felt like you was in the house, but you just, somebody would say it was their way or the highway, right? And that's what the devil could have felt like you was chained to something, right? Where you were constantly being judged. It was unhealthy. You were being nitpicked. That could have been a job that somebody was on where you just felt like, okay, you just constantly being criticized, judged. People were obsessed with judging you. You weren't getting paid that much. You bought into something. You thought it was one thing, but it was something totally different, right? And you felt like you were left out in the cold, right? Whatever it is, but you're safe and protected. Like I said, you're safe and protected. But you're being very clear. Something you're not returning back to. Very clear. Right? So, but like I said, something brought you to a level of emotional maturity. Something brought you to a level of emotional maturity. And so you're seeing things at a higher frequency now. This is a Temperance card. You're seeing things at a higher frequency now. So let me see what else we got going on here. Yeah, the Tower moment. Somebody kind of jumped to conclusions about something. You were impulsive. You jumped to conclusions about something. Somebody may have thought you were being judged by somebody. Maybe you thought somebody maybe thought they were being judged by somebody. Something was done behind your back by 3 energies that you weren't aware of. But now something has ended. Something has ended. So now you got the baton of water was passed to you. Meaning that when I say a baton of something was passed to you, meaning you have more gifts now, meaning more high priestess gifts, meaning that you have like 6 cups of water. So it's like more gifts have been added to you. High priestess gifts have been added to you. So what it looks like, Taurus, is like, for instance, let me give somebody an example of what I mean. So let's say, for instance, you've taken a job. Let's say you're at a posting at work and somebody says, okay, you got this leadership position. And at the time when you saw the leadership position, you didn't realize it was a high turnover for the position, right? I think in one of my previous readings, I said, everybody has this idea of nobody had the answers for a position. Nobody had the answers for what you needed at the time until you made a mistake. Then everybody had the answers for what you should have knew. You should have known how to do this. You should have known how to do that, right? You get in a job, you take the job, you're working all these extra hours, you realize your employees actually get paid more than you do, but you have this salary cap. But your employees can get all kinds of extra overtime. They can get they work their 8 hours. It's optional. They can make extra money working overtime, this kind of pay, that kind of pay. They had a healthy work-life balance, but you're working all of this extra time, but you can't get any, you're capped out, whatever, right? Plus you left in the cold. Every time something goes wrong, it's all your fault. It's all your fault. You literally feel like you are chained to a position that, you're just literally tied to something that you can't get out of. Tied to something that you can't get out of, right? Something was done behind your back that you weren't even aware of. Yep, you chained to something that you can't get out of because you were impulsive, right? Yeah, something was done behind your back until the light was shined on what was done. You were taken advantage of. And so now you're cutting some energies off. You're done, right? And so so some clarity has been added to something. Some clarity has been added to it. Some energy. You got to talk to somebody about it now. Whoever it is you need to talk to about it. You feel like you have this whole new lease on life. You're definitely not going back to something. You have this whole new level of maturity. Here's the main thing. Main thing is that you won't be judged. You won't be judged. Your ego may be a little bruised or whatever, but you won't be judged. That's the main thing. Yeah. Nobody's judging you. That's the main thing. Nobody's judging you. Everybody live and they learn. Nobody's judging you. Yeah. I feel like somebody's money ended, but that's what talking to people are about. Some people's roots run real deep. So if somebody's money ended, it could have ended because maybe people's money slowed down. That's what talking to people are about. That's what because something could have ended as a result. Something could have been a setup. Right? Something could have been a setup. Like in hindsight, looking at your cards here, because now somebody feels like they have this whole new lease on life now, right? If in hindsight, if like now you look back and you say, for instance, if it's a job and you feel like, okay, it was a high turnover rate, now you may look, okay, I didn't even pay attention. It was a high turnover rate at a position. Didn't even pay attention. It was a high turnover rate. Now it makes sense why it was a high turnover rate. Didn't at the time, but now it makes perfect sense. Who's judging you? Who could judge you? You didn't know what you knew now. But you're not going to go back to not asking questions. This is fire. So fire is an inspired action. Now you're going to ask. Now you're going to start asking more questions. You're not going to just dive right into oh, money, something physical. Okay, a lease. I'm just going to jump right into some kind of inspired action. You're safe and protected. People aren't judging you. Yeah. So now somebody has enough information at this point to say, okay, you're never going back to not asking more questions. You're never going back to not asking more questions, right? Yeah. Now that something is closed out. Yeah, now that something is closed out. Something is now complete. Something is now complete. Yeah, something is now complete. Yeah, so 7, 8, 9. Yeah. Yeah, you and somebody are never going backwards again. You and somebody are never going back to something again. Now that you know what you know. Now that excuse me, now that a light has been shown on something, somebody is never going back to not asking questions again, or being that confused. Again, it's you and somebody, and you all are just kind of like, you know, because somebody had clarity where somebody could have just asked. Like I said, if somebody had just gone around and just asked questions, whoever it was somebody you and somebody were not talking to. It's like somebody you all didn't even think to not ask. You weren't even inspired to ask whoever this energy was. So think of it this way, Taurus. It was somebody that you and somebody had left out in the cold. Y'all it was somebody that you and somebody it was you and somebody. Think about who it was. You and somebody had left out in the cold. Y'all had only gone to them when y'all wanted something from this, like almost had dismissed them in a way because of their high priestess gifts. Almost dismissed it as like, okay, they don't know what they talking about, you know. So think of it this way. It would be like somebody on your job or somebody, you know, connected to family. It could be a sister or somebody that you would almost deem as like even almost emotionally unstable. Like somebody almost is like, okay, they don't really know what they're talking about. They, you know, they lost. We don't have the same kind of spirit. I mean, somebody you almost don't even feel like spiritually you don't even have the same thing in common with. It's usually those energies that people almost like, okay, yeah, they so at odds with each other. They're in competition with each other. We'll play them against each other. It's usually those kind, Taurus, that people use against each other, that use you, that, okay, they would never talk to them anyway. Those are the energies that Source wants you to start finding what you have in common with those energies. Yep. Yep. So that's why Source had to bring somebody in the midst, in the middle of something, to shine a light on something, to say, y'all should have gone to this one right here. They would have told you this, whatever. Let me see. It's somebody that it was a karmic. So somebody had to bridge the gap. Somebody had to come in and bridge the gap. Yeah, somebody had to come in and bridge the gap. 1, 2, 3, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 9, 10. 6, 7. Because somebody was asking why. Hold on. 8. Wait a minute. 9. I'm just, hold on, excuse me, y'all. I'm just, excuse me. I know y'all like, what's she counting? Okay, anyway. Yeah. Yeah, because somebody had a lot of questions as to what the heck is going on. What in the world is going on? And so for you all, Taurus, it's usually like energies that for you would think, okay, people pitting you all against each other. That is why when you all are confused, the first go-to would be prayer, really. Prayer and sitting down somewhere, pouring into yourselves and asking source for clarity. That's where you're going to get your first answers from. Pull your birth chart, find out what your moon sign is. You don't need your time of birth. Going somewhere, especially if it's warm outside, your earth sign, go take your dog for a walk if you have a dog, or just go for a walk, run, jog, whatever. Hug a tree, something, go outside, take your notepad or cell phone, open up the notes section of your phone, journal your notes. What downloads is source giving you? What downloads is source giving you? The source is saying somebody has the answers to something. Somebody got the answers to something. They can add some clarity to something for you that's going to help you to not have to go through a nightmare, to help you to wake up from a nightmare, to give you a breakthrough instead of having a breakdown. Because what source is trying to help somebody show you is that somebody had to pay a heavy price. Somebody had to pay a heavy price. It's like somebody that you were connected with. Maybe you were married to them or something. They had to pay a heavy price to be in their family. A heavy, heavy price. And if somebody that you may not have talked to or whatever, and I don't know that you even knew to the extent what price they had to pay to be a part of their family. And something was intentional. And it's like somebody was still just kind of like, I don't believe something until I see it. It's something was going on. A lot of people have to pay see this big pentacle right here? This is not just paper and coins money. Somebody had to pay a very hefty price to be a part of their family. Somebody didn't believe it. But then somebody had to go back through their mind, like, oh my God, and now I'm starting to remember all the stuff people told, like the nightmares and stuff they had to go through. People are still thinking money is just paper and coins. Yeah, so somebody would have told, somebody is starting to remember all the stuff people told them a long time ago, of all the stuff that people had to go through in their own family. So so somebody is free. Somebody is finally free. Somebody is finally free of all the shade, all of that mess that somebody had to go through. So light has definitely been shining on some stuff. You know, but yeah. But that's what Source is trying to tell somebody. It's like, you know, whether it's in the workplace, in your personal or your professional life, this Uranus in your sign, 11th house, is from now on the something when we start out with Pentacles, it's not just money. It deals with the physical existence of something. Something for you is going to take you back to the very beginning of your relationships with people, like the very beginning, almost like what they told you from the very beginning of when you first met people about their families, as it relates to this right here, of them either feeling safe or not feeling protected in their family, either feeling safe or not safe and protected in their family. Something is going to be like the key for you to understand something about why they are the way that they are. So that when other people jump to conclusions like this right here, are impulsive or jump to conclusions about something, and it lets you know the heavy price that some people had to pay in their family. Something, like I said, that and it's going to let you know why some people will never go back. Never go back. So when they don't feel safe and protected in environments, and people are like, oh, no, they got to go back. And people are saying, no, they will never go back. They will never go back. So I don't know what somebody does for a living, but yeah, with all of this fire here, like I said, anyway, that's what I'm seeing for you all. That's why some of y'all will never go back to certain jobs. You would never go back to certain relationships, period. You just, because now you're starting to remember how deep something goes. For somebody, that's right, this right here. It's not about just money. How deep some roots go for some people. It's not just about money. Some people have had to pay a heavy price in their family. Heavy. And it's not, trust me, it's not even about money. Some people have had to pay a very heavy price in their family. Very heavy price. But people are waking up. People are waking up. That is what I have for you. That is what I have for you. So, yeah. So you're somebody's starting to wake up. Somebody's starting to really, really understand something. Somebody is starting to understand. Hopefully this is helpful. Here's some questions for you, for those of you all who are getting ready for this new moon, new you. First question is a humanitarian, is what can you do to use your passion for serving on a large scale? The second question is, are you creating space for yourself to connect with your inner alchemist and innovator? The third question is, are you ready to think outside the box and delete old beliefs and rules to write your own? Fourth is using technology a drain or gain for you? And then last but not least is, are you ready to start a group in your community to initiate and create positive change on a local or global scale? And then what could the focus be? That's what I have for you. Thank you for joining me. Bye.